I don't know if any of you have lost a loved one, but it is gut-wrenching and super hard. And today has been one of those gut-wrenching and super hard days for me. I lost my youngest son about a year and a half ago. If you've been watching my channel, you have heard a little bit of the story that I've shared. And most of the time I do pretty good. But today was just a really hard day. I was at the doctor's office I was getting seen for my back. I have a herniated disc. And on the way out, I went into the waiting room and saw a little boy jumping on some chairs and just trying to entertain himself, trying to be good. Because it's hard, even for adults, to sit in a waiting room bored to tears. And his grandma or mom, I'm not going to make assumptions, was trying to get him to just be quiet and sit still. And just seeing that little boy with her reminded me of my youngest and the countless number of doctor's appointments that he had to go to with me. And it made me emotional. And I just had to let it all out and bawl and bawl and bawl because of how much my heart ached for him. The pain is still so great, and I miss my son. And as I was going through the heartache and the pain of missing him, I had to remind myself of the greater picture, which is our Heavenly Father's plan. Because our Heavenly Father does have a plan for us. And this is part of His plan. It is for Trey, my youngest, to be an angel on the other side, doing missionary work on the other side. And he has been busy doing stuff and service for people. I have had blessing upon blessing that I don't know that I have time to go into today or right now, of things that have been revealed to me or that have come about like full circle on how I know that he's doing good things as an angel on the other side. And it has been such a blessing. I've had to remind myself that I am going to see him again someday. Find comfort in that. Find comfort in the plan of salvation, my Heavenly Father's plan. Know that even though I have to go through the hard and the heartache and missing him and all the things with back to school that's going on right now, and I went through it last year too. And the thoughts that you think of, well, if he was still here, this is what we would be doing. If he was here, we would have done this and this to prepare him for 8th grade is the grade he would be going into this year. Last year would have been his first year in junior high. Knowing, okay, well, he would have been in school with his two best friends this year. One was a year younger than him, one was a year older. So this would have been his only year in junior high that he would have had his two best friends, one in 7th grade, one in 9th grade, at the junior high with him. And those type of thoughts where they're dismissed a little bit extra, and if that makes sense. Not that it's extra as far as like bigger, but just things that you think of. You just have those extra thoughts, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And you just process those extra feelings of what you're missing, what they're missing. And it's hard to get through those moments. It's hard to be able to mentally pull through and not be in a state of darkness, sadness, mopiness, to be able to focus on the positive, on the good, having to have that mental strength, that spiritual strength, isn't easy, and I can admit that it isn't easy whatsoever. However, it does help me to know, okay, I know my son always loved to put a smile on my face. And that's what he would want for me right now. It's for me to have a smile on my face. So what things can I focus on? What things can I think about that's going to put a smile on my face? And as I was missing him, as I was watching that little boy in the waiting room and remembering the days and days and hours that we used to spend in the doctor's office together, because I have had to go through so many surgeries, so many doctor's appointments, hyperbaric treatments, where that poor little boy would have to sit for 2 hours with me as I sat in a hyperbaric chamber, and he would just have all these activities that he would have to keep himself busy with, and those sweet, sweet nurses that were so good to him and were amazed by what a good little kid he was, because he would just sit in his chair and he wouldn't move until I got done with my treatment. And of course I had a little baggie where he had snacks and drinks and whatnot and activities, so he was really good that way, but he was also really good not to bug the nurses, and the nurses were so good. They would always come over to him and ask what he was working on and have him show them what he was coloring or what he was playing on his little tablet that he had, or whatever he was busy with. I would also have him like trace his numbers, letters, write his name, all the preschool things, because he was preschool age at the time. And they were so good to get excited when he wrote his name and get excited when he wrote his letters and numbers. And they just went above and beyond. And they always said that they were amazed. They didn't know any 4-year-old that would be such an angel sitting in a hyperbaric hospital room while their mom got treatments day in and day out, because we went every single day for 2 months. And he was good every single day. He never had a bad day. And he was patient. He was blessed. We were both blessed that we never got sick, so we never missed an appointment. And focusing on those good things and his good attributes, and knowing that he would want me to smile. So I started focusing on the good around me as I drove from my doctor's appointment today to work. Focusing on all the positive around me as I drove from the doctor's appointment to work today, and recognizing those things. Recognizing we've had some really hot days, just little things that we had, just a little bit of a breeze that cooled things down, and being grateful for that, and recognizing that we had a little bit of cloud cover with a little small drizzle the first thing this morning, which cooled temperatures down. And then there came a breeze that helped cool the temperatures down even more. The beautiful sunrise that I had seen that morning. How grateful I was that for silly little things. To be honest, my darn truck, his gas gauge isn't working, so I've run out of gas a couple times. And so just being grateful that I had a full tank of gas at the moment, and just trying to focus on as much positive as I could, as no matter how silly, no matter how insignificant, no matter what that might have been. Grateful that I had a job, focusing on the positive that I had a good boss, that I worked with good employees, that I was grateful for the help my family gave me this morning. My son that's still in high school helped me with some farm chores this morning, and how grateful I was to him, and just refocusing my energy and efforts on the good around me and the positive. And that helped me put a smile on my face, even though I still miss my son, and I'm still emotional, as you can see, about missing my son and the experience that I had today. But just the power of positivity and what that does for our hearts, for our mind, for our souls, especially when there's a deep pain, as deep as mine runs, as deep as yours might run. I don't know anything more painful for a mother than to lose a child. And so for me to be able to notice a significant change and shift in my day by switching my thoughts and energy in a positive direction helped a ton. Another thing that helps me in a positive way are some of the things linked in the description below. I have some really neat t-shirts that I've designed. One of them is a quote from my son that says, "Live with a huge testimony of Christ," and some others that I've put together that are just fun and helpful reminders that just keep us on that positive wavelength. So check them out in the description if you want. Please share in the comments if you guys have anything that came to your mind as you listened to this today. I would love to hear about that.